Oh, no time for an introduction today, folks. We're under attack. What you see here is what happens if you let one of the enemy vehicles get too close to your base. You go into a kind of siege mode where you have no choice but to play the same level over and over again until you pass it. In practice, I imagine that this means that a lot of beginning players wind up wasting almost all their lives against the enemy Air Force. If you're having trouble clearing the middle levels out, the Air Force is the first group that can get to you. My problem, however, is not the Air Force, but rather this submarine. The submarine doesn't really have a level leading up to it, it's just a boss fight. That said, I still managed to run into the only thing on screen while I'm waiting for him to show up. The submarine has a few different attacks. He has these multiple impact warheads that he can send out to you that explode into smaller missiles when you shoot them. He has this giant bomb thing also. Well, actually, come to think of it, that might be pretty much all he has in terms of attacks. The A-10 is a good choice for this level, as with many other levels, because you can park yourself up in the corner and still manage to hit him. That gives you a second to react to the missiles as they're being shot up, and if you're quick-witted, you can even maybe drop some bombs to cause them to detonate while you're far away. That's what I just attempted to do there, but it didn't work out for me so well. That big red bomb that you just saw is the reason why I don't spend a lot of time directly in front of the sub. If I did, it could shorten the fight because I can dump both of my Vulcan streams onto him, do more damage. However, if you sit there for too long, he drops one of those bombs directly on your stupid face. So it's not really the best plan. I prefer to keep my distance, whittle him down a little bit at a time, and avoid any catastrophic events like that. Unfortunately, that does make for a pretty long fight since he spends a lot of it hidden underneath the water where you can't damage him. It's a little bit like the Desert Carrier in that sense. You gotta be patient. In the meantime, I just try to avoid those stupid spinning fighter planes. A timely application of Mega Crush puts an end to this guy, and I have to say I really love the way that that submarine goes down. The chain of explosions and just the bubbles rising to the surface, very classy. UN Squadron is one of the games that sold me on the Super Nintendo. I remember reading about it in Nintendo Power, and just being blown away by how colorful the pictures were for it. Okay, with the sub out of the way, Area 88 is safe, and I think it's time to take care of a certain albatross around my neck. One more time, we're going to throw ourselves at the Battleship Minks. I'm going to take a pretty basic loadout with me. The bombs are good for dealing with your planes and boats, the napalm's good for the battleship itself, and the Mega Crush is, as always, the panic button. Of course, if we can, we'll save it, get that $5 grand back at the end of the mission. We're going to need that later on if we want to buy the Efreet, and, spoiler, we want to buy the Efreet. We've already been through this a few times, so maybe I'll take this opportunity to tell you the story of my copy of UN Squadron. Sadly, UN Squadron is a game that's pretty hard to come by. I think the reason for this is that it's based on a Japanese manga and anime series, which means that if Capcom ever wanted to release it on the Virtual Console, they'd have to go through a whole bunch of legal hoops, which almost certainly would not be worth the 2,000 sales that the title would garner on Wii Virtual Console. So because of that, your choices if you want to play it are more or less emulate it or find a used copy somewhere. I was lucky enough to find a used copy of this game for $2, which in my mind is more or less the best deal I've ever gotten on a video game ever. My copy of UN Squadron is beat all to hell. The label's ripped, the cartridge is dirty, it's scratched, it's dinged, and you know what? I don't care, because it's my copy of UN Squadron, and I'm going to play it till the day that I die. Yeah, I know, it's getting misty in here. Don't have to cry on your keyboards. Okay, we're getting close. You can tell the sky's getting dark. I'm going to use my vast knowledge of this level, recently acquired, pick up the Unicorn, which will hopefully make this go a little better than on our previous tries. Once again, the name of the game is to use the lower Vulcan cannon stream to try and take out those missile launchers and those rapid fire turrets as quickly as possible. They make it pretty hard to dodge everything that's flying at you. Still abusing my safe spot on top of those giant cannons, and still putting a lot of firepower into the superstructure on the ship, because I can't let go of the idea. I really want to get that star. Like I said, we're going to need a lot of money before this game is over if we want to buy the best plane and have a chance of equipping it. I realize that more or less makes me an idiot. Oh, there goes the shield. Grab some ammo, and I really have to learn to stay farther away from the edge of the screen. It ruins the turnaround. That's one of my favorite things in this game. Alright, focusing our firepower on this big cannon, there we go. The second one we're going to ignore in favor of those little turrets and that missile launcher, and that's why, right there. Good job. The Mega Crush takes care of them for us, thankfully, and gives me a second of safety. In the meantime, drop some napalm, see if I can't weaken the superstructure enough to unearth the star that I'm so desperate for. So yeah, no reason for me to get hit there, especially now that I know a more or less safe place. On the bright side, check out this sweet turn. Oh yeah. Alright, well now that I'm down to 0 fuel, I'm going to have to be careful. I'm in that wonderful, stressful zone that I claim is a lot of fun to be in. But honestly, after this many tries of the Battleship, I would like to get this done. Normally I don't have this much trouble with the Battleship. It's possible that I'll lose a life or two, but yeah. This has not been a particularly auspicious run. Ah, there's the star, and I got it! Nice. Alright, one more turret to go, and then we'll have this wrapped up. Haha! Take that, Project 4, whatever the hell you are. As much as I love the submarine's destruction animation, I think that the Battleship's one's even cooler. I love seeing the water billowing over the sides of that. I don't think that makes any sense, but it's really cool. Surprisingly, Mickey's got a fairly professional response to this mission. He spends most of his time putting crippled children into a blender, but as soon as I start to get flustered, he's cool as a cucumber. Go figure. And with that, we have finished the middle tier of levels of the game, and it's time to do the advanced levels. What's it gonna be? Tune in next time on Let's Play UN Squadron to find out.